Hi, my name is Mary Young, and this video is going to be focusing on nutrition of the ewe in mid-pregnancy. So that period after tupping and then scanning in months 2 to 3 of pregnancy. So the mid-pregnancy period is a critical period for ensuring the production of your strong, viable lambs, but can often be seen as less important than feeding immediately pre and post lambing. So months 2 and 3 of pregnancy actually set the foundations for the future development of those lambs. So really, in order to manage body condition score, it's so important that you're measuring and assessing that to see if your ration and the nutrition of the ewe is adequate or what adjustments need to be made. This is a timeline from QMS that you might have seen before. I encourage you to download this timeline, have a look at it, and it really sets out the key production cycle and times within the ewe's life and what are the key points for her nutrition. Today I'm going to be focusing on the second 50 days in that timeline period, so around scanning, and that's when the placental growth and development happens in mid-pregnancy. So months 2 and 3, that's when the embryo has been implanted and the placental growth starts to develop. And I'd like to just draw your attention to the graph on the right-hand side here. A lot of people have a good grasp of late pregnancy and how the fetal growth starts to go up rapidly, and that's why her demand in late pregnancy is so high. But actually, if I draw your attention to the placental development here, you can see it's about 50% of its weight at 12 weeks pre-lambing. The placental growth is so important, firstly because it is the channel that carries all the nutrients to that developing fetus, and also it produces the hormones which are essential for the continuation of that pregnancy, and hormones which are vital for the development of the ewe's udder as well. The final size of that placenta largely determines the birth weight of the lambs, so no amount of good feeding of the ewe in the late pregnancy will ever fully compensate for per placental development during this mid-pregnancy period. So in days sort of 50 to 100, that's when the placental growth is most rapid. So maintaining a good level plane of nutrition and supplementing where necessary, for example in extreme weather, loss of body condition score will impact the ewe's performance, the lamb's growth and the birth weight. So what are these targets in mid-pregnancy? See along the top there, I've got targets for hill, upland and lowland ewe. If you do find you haven't met these targets, ideally out with pregnancy is when you want to make changes to body condition score. Mid-pregnancy, as I said, because of that placental growth and the impact on that, it's not an ideal time to be making big changes to the body condition score, and a lot of research has backed that up. So if they are above these targets, really it's a time to be just maintaining that body condition score. However, for particularly fit ewes, if they are in good condition and at mating and they've maintained their weight and condition during that first month of pregnancy, then a loss of condition through a mild degree of underfeeding can be tolerated, but you have to make sure it's very gradual, so not exceeding more than half a condition score of loss at that point. As I say, you don't want to be impacting this placental development. On the other hand, if they're below target, allowing them to gain condition slowly, so ideally no more than half a body condition score, in that case you don't want to be providing too high a plane of nutrition, which can result in larger lambs from sheep that are still thin. So being good to those that are on the thinner side, but just being careful that you don't cause another issue. So in conclusion, my key messages are: in mid-pregnancy, you're setting the foundations for those lambs and for your future lamb crop. Of course, measuring the body condition score in order to manage, and being proactive with what you measure and taking action with those results. And again, at this time of year, it's really good time to plan ahead for pre-lambing. So get your forage analysed, plan ahead, know what supplements may be required. Thank you for listening.